right, we are live. Hey, what's going on? My name is Nathan Lloyd. Welcome to the channel. Yes, I believe we are live, and I know this stream all of a sudden said it was supposed to be at 3 for 2 more hours, but it was supposed to be now. The whole time zone changed. I think when I signed into StreamYard, it changed the time based on where I'm at now instead of leaving it the way it was. So, whatever. But anyway, this is welcome to the channel. My name is Nathan Lloyd, and this is my 100,000 subscriber live stream. The live stream I thought I would never be making. Thanks, Justin. Thanks. It's incredible. I do want to. I was trying to prepare for the stream. I was trying to figure out. Kurt here. I'll be there in a minute. All right, Kurt. It was in preparing for this stream. I was trying to figure out what would be the best. What value could I give it to you guys to let you understand, that number one, this wasn't by like accident, right? I did have a plan. I executed and I had some fundamentals in place to show people just what the journey happened, like what it, like how I got here. And I know a lot of times it seems like a lot of people they just see the end result. They just see the end product and they don't see how to get there. And that's the value that I want to try to bestow on the people now that it wasn't like it just kind of happened. It was kind of like, all right, there was a process in place and these videos did extremely well. So, and hopefully I'll be able to share that with you guys in a coherent way. And hopefully somebody will be able to take from that and, maybe grow a channel too. Thanks to the 100K. Thank you. I don't know why I'm so nervous now. I'm like super nervous. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well earned. Let there be hundreds and hundreds more. Also, it's been a long time since we talked. We should do something about that. Oh, definitely. We'll definitely talk on Discord. I'll check. I'm gonna check you out on Discord. Happy. Thanks, Barney. I appreciate it, Barney. Barney's a long time friend. Lolly, thank you. It's funny because I don't know why I'm nervous. I thought this was later. Yeah, it was supposed to be now, but I think when I signed in to StreamYard early to check the stream, it switched it based on the time that I am now, because when I first put the stream up, I was in New York. So now it's like it switched it to 3 o'clock this time, which was wrong. So, but thanks, Eric. I'll see you soon. Yes, the 100K grift. So listen, let me just jump right into it. All right, so how did I get here? How did I get to 100,000 subs? Well, so everyone understands, I left the law school in, I think, 2019, and I developed a business plan, and the business plan was saying, okay, I want to grow a YouTube channel. My friend Dragnot, who may be coming by, my friend Dragnot actually said, hey, Nate, why don't you cover legal topics on YouTube? And he had pointed me to some relevant legal cases that were relevant and I think in first the atheist community and then some in the gaming community, because those were his things. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll check out these cases and try to break them down, because it was always about, what does all this mean? So just trying to go through that process of, how can I put value onto the platform, because there are a lot of lawyers out on YouTube and a lot of them explain different things, but what value could I add to it? Could I do it? Can I do it the same, or was it some way I can do it differently? And that's kind of where I came in with the whole, hey, you judge it, just give you the facts and the law and just give you exactly what's out there, right? Don't give it to you with the spin. Just say, hey, this is what it is. You deal with it. And I didn't know how powerful just doing that was. I honestly, I didn't know how powerful just saying, here are the facts and you make up your own mind was. It just was a powerful thing. And it just stopped a lot of the arguments of, this is like, no, here it is, here it is. And the fact that people were craving just not media, but they were craving really just a factual account of what happened without the spin. But most of the time, you couldn't get that. So you'd have to go to, let's say there was something very right leaning or something very left leaning to just get, and it kind of, you get your facts kind of skewed in a way that either made you feel good or not, based on your political leanings. But they were never really the facts. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to just try to give it to you plain. And it worked. It worked in spades. And the first video I really tried to do this with was the Breonna Taylor video. So the Breonna Taylor video was the first kind of with that first type of video was, okay, here are the facts. Here's how we should think about them. Here's the law and here's everything. And that video blew up. And for those of you who don't know, I was pretty low in subs at that time. And Brandon Tatum, he's a very conservative. He's one of the new Black conservatives here on YouTube. He shared that video on his YouTube channel. And that video got something like 300,000 or about almost 400,000 views and really, really exploded. And got me it got me a lot of subs and a lot of views on the channel. But one thing though, is that the people who were viewing that video also were viewing my other content. And when I went into the analytics, I saw another video that exploded. And that video was the US soccer video. That video went from something like 5,000 views to like 100,000 views. So I was like, well, the people who are consuming that content like that video, like the US soccer video, let me redo that video in a way that I think is makes it easier to understand. So that was the US soccer video. And then that video then, now has like 3.7 million views. So that was the journey for me. I was lucky enough to get, I think, 2 videos that really hammered home just that, hey, here are the facts, you understand it, and this is what it's just about. It's just about. And it's hard to deny when you are given the facts. It's especially, I think, if you're reasonable, because I think all of us, everybody, right, left, I think we're all reasonable, but I think when the facts are kind of skewed in a way that makes you feel that they're more important or less important, it colors that reason. But when you give it, when it's given to you plain, it's like, okay, we all actually think more alike than I think we don't do. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm trying to YouTube is it takes them, I think, 3 or 4 weeks now if you get the silver play button, because they gotta go to make sure you haven't bought up all your subs and all this. So I'm still waiting on that. Hopefully I can get that. That'll be amazing. I can't wait to do a stream with the whole silver play button. I honestly never thought this was even possible. I didn't think 100,000 subs was possible. So just so everybody understands, what earlier when I said this wasn't by accident, right? I did have a business plan, right? I went to a couple of different forecast sites like Social Blade, and there are a couple of YouTube channel forecast sites. So when I first started, how many subs did I have when I first started this? So I wrote this business plan back in October 4th, 2019. And this business plan was just to say, how could I make this YouTube channel doing what I did when I taught in the law school? And what I taught in law school, but I really was able to dumb down legal information so everybody could understand it. And that was what I was good at. So I want to do what I did there here on YouTube. So I had, 654 subscribers. And that was August 4th, 2019. And I was projected to have 10,000 subscribers in 2023. So that's what all the forecast models were showing, that in 2023, I would have 10,000 subscribers. And I'm at 100,000 subscribers in 2021. So then, you have then they forecast long-term models, midterm models. So I was able to beat all that, but it was because also too, I'll say this, one of the toughest things to do here on YouTube is keep your content fresh, but also give, try to draw more people in, because it really, sometimes there's this real pull to, go one way or the other way, but it's hard to just, to try to really keep that focus, because, there's been a lot of times where I'll say, it's really this, but sometimes, it's like I'm even fighting with myself sometimes with the content. We're trying to keep to be apolitical, but it's very hard. It's very hard. And we all are human beings. We're all going to have our flaws. So thanks. Yeah, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. When I first met Viva, um, interesting story. He was trying to tag me in a video that we were doing together. I think I was doing a live stream on his channel, and he couldn't even tag me because I hadn't had 1,000 subs yet. So I wasn't even monetized at that time. So he couldn't even tag me, and we were like, and just imagine that was less than 2 years ago. So less than 2 years ago. But I am telling people, this happened with a plan. Like, I did have a plan. I was like, I'm going to do these type of videos. I tested different types of videos. So some type of videos I said, do these work? People didn't consume them. So it wasn't just like it was all. This was a process. Like one thing I've learned most about my fans is that they'd rather have accurate information than a lot of information. They'd rather do a deep dive on something that they didn't know than do a lot of little dives on stuff they know kind of about. So if you look at the videos on my channel, most of the ones that do well are those deep dives where we go into, we go behind the curtain, right? Not those, the ones that are quick, they do well, but it's really those, the U.S. soccer one. Here's all those facts, we read through what the women got. Like, here's what they get, that the men don't get. That was a pretty deep dive. But that took time. That takes time. That takes effort. You got to read through that. You got to make sure. I'm just saying what this, and regurgitate that in a way where, it's hard to be challenged. Like, these are the facts. This is what they are. Congrats, Nate. Thanks, David. We definitely appreciate the balanced approach of the analysis of legal and cultural concepts. Well done, sir. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it's been so fascinating. Just even the YouTube community. The YouTube community is amazing. You meet, especially the different creators you meet there, and you get advice from everybody. I'm talking about, there's been so many people who you would be shocked that, I said, have given me good YouTube advice. You're like, that person gave you good YouTube advice? Yes. And, and I think it's about learning from each different relationship, because that's what life is about, right? If you think you know it all, then you really don't know anything. You have to learn. You learn based on these different relationships. And the YouTuber I am today is not the YouTuber I started out with being here. And I also think the way I look at content today is different. And that's kind of where I'm, I don't know, I'm less inclined to really change the way I'm doing things now, because I think this is where this is what I've been looking for. This works for me. It works that I can go into a topic and give people that very detailed information, those things that they didn't know, that those things that most people say don't matter, and then you find out no. Yeah, well, that does matter. It does matter that they got paid more, right? That matters and the fact that you see most people who respond to that video, the first thing they'll say is, we didn't know that they got paid more. And even with the Breonna Taylor video, we didn't know that address was on the warrant. We didn't. And when you start hearing questions like that and answering those questions, then I think that's the story. That's the power, because now you're waking people up and giving them the information that they just didn't have before. I'm getting all preachy over here. Oh yeah, are we ready? Thanks, Cindy. Hey, Nate. I said to some guys from Z Education at Launch Channel. Check it out. Women's football wages. All right, I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm definitely going to also continue to cover the women's soccer, because they're going to have some decision on appeal. I think Uncivil says they may go to oral arguments on it, so we'll see. because I think he says they have one viable claim, but we will see. Again, I'm going to cover that just the same way we've been covering it all. I don't really see how their appeal works though. Like even now, it's just looking through their appeal. It's like it's going to be interesting to see if I just don't see it. But again, I've been wrong before. So if I was a betting man, I would be betting against them. But that doesn't mean they don't have a shot. So, in the time when media misinformation outlets are sharing the truth. Thanks. You're all like that brings the actual truth. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know what? Two things. One of the toughest things that I usually get is I try to use the same approach going into all these different situations. And sometimes not being flexible rubs people the wrong way. And I do realize that. But sometimes when you look, because there's always more nuance that you can always add more layers to it. But I think by stripping off a lot of that nuance, you can actually get something that's pure and that kind of says, okay, let me try to understand it from my perspective, not just your perspective. Oh, let me say hello to Eric.
Hey, man.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Deja vu. I think I've seen it recently.
Got to change.
I know.
Oh, man. Congrats, Nate.
Yes. Huge congrats. This is awesome.
I don't know if he hears us.
Uh-oh. Does anyone else hear us?
I don't know. Did we just take over the show? Well, this was Nate's show.
Right. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You guys can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Oh. Well, that tells us
I'm
that.
to change my earphones. Hold on.
Give me some fun with this. So this once was Nate the lawyer's show, but
we have now co-opted it.
Exactly.
Hey, Eric, I'll take 50. You take 50.
Right, there it is.
Yes, I'll
take
50,000 subs for sure.
Oh
yeah.
my god. Oh.
All right, now I can hear you guys. I'm like, it's
okay. You just gave us all of your subscribers. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, hey, we'll take everybody while we're here.
So listen, well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and these are two of my YouTube buddies. These are I talk to Eric about everything. How many thumbnails do we look at like a week, Eric?
I don't even know. And Nate has been kind enough to kind of be a quasi mentor. So when I join him at 100K, it's his fault.
Agreed.
No, but it's weird because I remember like when watching Viva reach 100,000 subs, and it's like a lot of times you forget all the work that goes into getting to that point. And it's funny because my daughter, she told me, she's like, hey, I want to be like you, I want to be a YouTuber. So I'm like, oh great, but there's a lot of work. And she's like, I don't want to be a YouTuber anymore. And I'm like, that's because she sees me like working all the time, researching stuff and doing this type of stuff. And sometimes it's because I like what I do. I don't consider it work, but then sometimes that's, I think now is starting to become the problem. And I think that's sometimes why YouTubers get burnt out, because it's like we like what we do, but then now with that obligation to do it, it kind of burns you out a little bit, You have
to be absolutely obsessed in a lot of ways. And that's the quandary is, I mean, we're thinking YouTube, having a conversation with the wife on dinner. It's like, I don't know. Does that butter look like it would be a good thumbnail? It just, you almost become a little bit insane. Like, okay, could that be content? Could that be content? And you catch yourself. You're like, oh, I probably am supposed to be talking about the weather. I don't know about you two.
Thanks. Go ahead, Alita.
Sorry, I was just a little bit distracted because I'm getting a phone call for pizza that's supposed to arrive. So I just got a little bit distracted. I'm hoping that my husband comes at some point and picks up the phone so that I don't have to answer it.
Secret Sorry, I'm turning this into $5.
I was going to say I'm turning this into a pizza party.
Well, £5. That's even better.
£5. Oh yeah, it's like what, $1.25 or $1.50 for £1, something like that.
Yeah,
pounds convert higher, right? Yeah, Mrs. Miss the lives. Glad this one isn't too late. Thanks again, Secret Scroller. Welcome back. So you guys have seen the journey. You guys, matter of fact, but you guys are going through your own journey. Let's talk about Legal Bites, who's just went over 5,000 subs too. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, just yesterday during the live stream on Eric Hunley's channel. Cool. I noticed afterwards I had bumped up over 5,000. So I'm gonna start doing a sort of a milestone journey. Every 5,000 subscribers, I'm gonna start doing another. I'm gonna do a running challenge basically. So today I just ran a 5K to celebrate 5K subscribers. So when I hit 10K, I'll do 10K all the way up to 50K. It's good.
Because you do 100K. I want to see that. I want to see your 62 miles. At least you're doing Ks. I've done a 50K. I've done a 50K, girl.
I was gonna say I've done up to a full marathon. I have not quite done a 50K, but I think that I think I'm probably gonna have to make my way up to a 100K, which is absolutely completely insane. But that's exactly why I should do it.
Maybe do 250Ks and just say, you know what? I'll just do 2 of those and save the effort, because trust me, the 50K itself it's tough.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's only a few more than a marathon. I've done 4 marathons.
Yeah.
But that 50K, it's amazing. After 26 miles, 5 miles is a lot harder than starting at 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure it is. So, I mean, if I were to do 100K, I would probably give myself like maybe a couple days to do it or something. I don't know. I definitely would have to do way more research into ultra marathoning than I've ever done in my life. But yeah, that would be absolutely insane.
Thank you, Huntus. Yeah, you guys are talking about how I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not running any marathons. It's hard for me to run around the block.
Yeah, me too right now.
A marathon. Oh man, Kurt, what's going on? Uncivil Laws joined us.
How are you doing? Yeah, all I have to say is you have to do the Barkley legal or nothing counts.
Oh, that's the marathon that eats its own. Barkley's marathon. Don't
tell her. Make her commit first.
Well, notice she left the camera there. James Earl Ray,
it was for the pizza. I was about to be right back.
No, I'm very happy that I'm here, Nate. I'm happy that you've hit 100,000. It's been wonderful. It's been really, at least for me, one of the great things about this whole thing is getting to know people through the YouTube, getting to know other people like Eric, like you, Nate, like Legal, just having the opportunity to get to know people, build communities. We're still doing all that stuff, making progress on meeting people. I've had 2 new collabs in the last week, so trying to make new contacts and learn more, have fun, read really bad prosas last night that took a piece of my soul. That was fun.
those can be pretty painful.
It was bad.
Yeah. So for anyone that isn't aware that's watching this, pro se means anyone that's representing themselves without legal counsel. So
thank you.
there you go. So
there's a non-lawyer in the room.
So that can be pretty painful. When I was interning with the Attorney General's office in California, I was interning in the correctional law section. So basically, we were just defending the state of California against inmates that were suing for all kinds of reasons. Some of them were legitimate. A good number of them were probably legitimate, but a lot of them also were not. I distinctly remember actually physically cutting and rearranging and pasting a complaint that was handwritten by an inmate. It was wild.
Oh my!
Wow.
Yeah.
People should ask, what's Nate's most viewed posted video ever? U.S. women's soccer. Boom.
Yeah,
just go to the homepage.
50% plus your channel, right? Over 50% of your channel is
the one that's feeding all of our channels at this point.
That's the way it works, though. It seems like you get a couple videos that just carry all the weight for everything else.
Have you guys ever heard of the 80-20 rule?
Oh, yeah.
It's a great offense.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happens with channels. With for those of you who don't know the 80-20 rule, it's really an efficiency ratio. Generally, 20% of your content is going to drive 80% of the views. That's essentially. So but it's not an exact ratio. Yeah, it's not exact ratio. Like for instance,
close, and it's fractal. What I mean is that of that 20% that drives your views, 20% of that drives that first 20%.
Yeah,
so you actually get down to having like 3 or 4% that drives 65% approximately of everything. So it just keeps going down.
Yeah, it's one of those great things that's also observant in nature too. The 80-20 rule, like 20% of stars are responsible for 80% of the mass. And if you look at city distributions in terms of population, they follow the 80-20 rule. If you follow the size of trees or forests, they follow the 80-20 rule. So it's one of those apparently invisible rules in the cosmos that somehow seems to guide us. 20% of the YouTubers get 80% of the views and subs and so forth.
Yeah,
that's true. And 20% of them. But then I don't know if the golden ratio is related to it or not. There's like some overlap in there, but it is interesting.
You want to talk fi to me?
No, you win.
But that's essentially what's going on my channel. Just maybe like the 20% of videos are just driving all that traffic, which is it just is what it is. But I'll say from out of all this, I think during the journey, it's meeting everybody. Like during this journey, I met Viva, I met Eric, I met all of you guys I've met in the past 2 years. Like I have all these new people in my life. So I talk to you guys. Some of you guys I talk to every day almost. So no, but that shows you the nature of and that's what I think a lot of times people don't get with YouTube is that you are building community, but you're not only building a community with your fans, you're building a community with other creators and other like-minded people. So you know.
No, it's really great. I was actually thinking about this earlier. How a lot of my channel's growth has been just through meeting other content creators and just going and basically networking. Really, that's what a lot of it really is, and just sort of having good conversations on your channel, on other people's channels, it's good. It's great. I love the fact that it's a very collaborative environment because you don't necessarily get that in most places in the law, especially in the legal field, because it can be a very adversarial environment, even when you're at within a specific firm, depending on the culture. There are some that are legitimately like you feel like you're around family, but then there are plenty of others where it is very much not like that. So it's so refreshing how being in this environment on YouTube, talking about the law, like we're not competing with one another. We're all literally collaborating. And it's a very friendly environment where everyone is very, very supportive. And I love it.
It's also, it reinforces you can't get there alone. I think that, everybody, you have an illusion that, okay, you're the, PewDiePie, one creator, you're going to get everything. And it's like, no, I need Nate's help. I deeply appreciate it. I need input and collabs from others, things like that. Obviously, I need from the audience. And you'll notice that the larger that YouTubers get, you'll find out, oh, they have a team, or they got this person and that person. It reinforces itself. But I appreciate the friendships and just the knowledge. I mean, I'm obsessed with this stuff, as I mentioned earlier. So I can talk to Nate and we could talk shop and not be bothering our families. So it's a public service.
Is that what it is?
My wife is like, I know she's like, oh my God, if I hear about views anymore, I'm like, babe.
Also, I didn't understand this word you used earlier in the stream. You had a plan?
Yeah, I did.
I'm not familiar with that.
I had a plan. No, I'm talking about I had a plan. I was like, it was I started with the business plan and just saying, okay, this is how many views I have now. I went to Social Blade, and I forget the other. There's like a couple of sites that you can evaluate your YouTube channel, and they give you predictions, like if they predict out. So I use those predictions as models and saying, okay, how is my YouTube channel doing? So in 6 months, the prediction said I should have like, X amount of subs. How many subs did I have at that particular point in time? But at one point, my growth was beating the predictions pretty nicely. So like when Social Blade predicted I should have 1,000 views. I should have 1,000 subs. I had 4,000 subs at that time. So it at least gave me some place to figure out how I was doing amongst the process using these models that they were putting on. And and obviously every couple of months the models would change because Social Blade would update, and then I would be able to match my progress based on those models.
Yeah, you just introduced me to that stuff on Social Blade, because I remember, I mean, I knew Social Blade existed, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But then seeing their future projections on there is actually really helpful.
Except when you
Gives you a
stall,
point.
which has
Well,
happened, and then you're like,
I mean, then yes, mentally, emotionally, you're like, no, what's going on? Everything's gonna end.
but they get very, very wild. But I'll say this: I wasn't using them for accuracy. I was using them more just as at least some way to help me evaluate how I was doing and where I was at in the process. And then I looked at that model and said, okay, if I make it, I think they said I should have 10,000 subscribers in 2023. But is that so? Could I do it in 4 years? I also knew that it takes about 5 years for YouTubers to get 10,000 subscribers. That's the average. So
all I have to say is
that,
don't be too cocky. Social Blade may yet be right.
that's true. But
No, I'm sure.
but when you break it all down to that, it just made it easier for me to be able to evaluate how I was doing it, and it helped me evaluate my audience too. These are things that they like, these are things that they don't like, that type of thing. Because there were a lot of times we played with different concepts, and some things worked and some things didn't. And that was another whole big piece of it too, understanding what didn't work. There was one point I did a review of with the trailer for Cats. That didn't work. Right? So.
well, what are you gonna do? I mean, let me see. How are you looking on Social Blade? Nate, you will hit 1 million subscribers in early March of 2024.
Wow,
Boom. I got another 3 years, baby.
that's pretty good.
That's a good trajectory right now, but you've been blowing up. So Social Blade can be frustrating too, because I can tell you, I sit there, look at this nice little path curving up. Oh, it's great. And then I stall for like 4 months of nothing. Yeah. And it's like the Social Blade running backward. I don't like it. You're supposed to be 5,000 above now. But I don't know. Right.
One thing about this YouTube game, it makes you really nutty about the numbers. I don't know. It's like you don't want to obsess about them, but the numbers do matter, So I know I've spoken to everybody, to each one of you about the crazy numbers, and I think it's interesting too, because you never know what people are going to like. Like the video for the U.S. soccer team, that's a video I did before. I just redid that video. That's a retake video that did that. So it's like you just don't know. Like Kurt, I remember you had the one about what was it, the
trailer?
What was the video, the trailer video that blew up?
Yeah.
Just like, who knew?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't expect it to be that pop. It's weird because I can't. Sometimes videos I think will be really, really popular don't pop, and then that video was interesting because I have a nice little backlog in YouTube of videos I can post at any given time. So I have like 14 or 20 videos I can post at any given time. And that particular video was just one I picked out that day. And I seem to remember feeling, oh, this isn't going to do particularly well, but I'll just post it because, it's there. And then it winds up being one of my most popular videos. So I don't understand what's going on. It doesn't make any sense, but
that's why there's only one Mr. Beast and only one PewDiePie.
Right.
Nobody can quite figure it out, and it's like poking a stick at it.
The sorcery. No, but and then there's also the videos that kind of like do okay for a bit, and then you look back and you're like, whoa, like where are all these views coming from? And then you go back and you notice that for whatever reason it just like had a random uptick through no action of your own, nothing, just because somebody happened to pick it up.
Well, I will say this though. Thumbnails matter. If you want to play the YouTube game, thumbnails matter. And I'm if that's a religion, I am I am converted to that.
Converted.
Yes, I'm
He's from the
converted.
atheist community, but he's in religion here.
Well, there was that video from
thumbnails.
Veritasium, wasn't it? Like in the last 3 days,
Yeah.
where it basically is
Yeah.
like clickbait works, and here's the models to prove it. I
Well,
have this
even-
really old video that hasn't done very well, and I suddenly changed this video from like 6 months ago. I changed the thumbnail and title, and you can just see the curve. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's time for a Skillshare class or something.
Yeah. Well, even that one, it's funny because I Nate also shared that video with me too, and I remembered I clicked on it like pretty much immediately after it came out, and then I came back to it like a day later. I still had the tab open, and I refreshed it, and I noticed that the thumbnail was different, and the title was a little bit different, and I was like, oh, like they're actually practicing what they preach here, like they're actually testing this stuff out.
It's
So.
here is the first thumbnail for that U.S. soccer video. This one is I call it the ugly god. It got 700,000 views though, and it just stalled. So after that, it got to 700,000, just stalled, and it was like, oh, all right, this did well, and that changed to this, and this got 3 million more views, about 3 million more views. And
Smart.
this, when I changed this, this change happened. The first thumbnail was on in March, from March to July, and I changed this in July. So for 4 months, March, April, May, June, July, 4 months.
Man,
That's
mean-
the power of the thumbnail.
there are entire countries that are smaller than the number of people that have watched this video.
Yeah. No, but
Lithuania is one of them.
No, but I think that's the power of the thumbnail, because the video,
Yeah.
that stuff in the video didn't change. It was the fact that people saw the one and thought it was easier to click on one than the other one. So
Yeah, and that's it's so
insane.
tricky. It's so tricky. Even like understanding the concept and being like, yes, I understand this is very important. I understand basically what people are saying about it, and then actually applying it is a whole other thing, because because you're trying to predict what other people are going to see and find interest in, and that's not necessarily what you would find interest in, and it can be a very tricky beast.
And it works for me too. I mean, this is an over a year old video. Nate worked with me on the thumbnail on, and you can see the hockey stick right about where it changed, and it does work. And not necessarily every video, but like this one, I'm getting a couple thousand a day on it.
I'll sell my soul to clickbait for numbers like this. So I'm
and
comfortable with
that's
that.
all, and that's just a change of the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah. The content is not different. I have a pair video, and this is not his, millions, but I'll still take it. I'm heading toward, 50,000 plus. And wow, video's already done. So we spent 10, 15 minutes on one thumbnail.
Yep.
Okay. Sold.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share. So it wasn't just, Nate's new giant channel. It's also little channels like mine that I can definitely see the effect.
Yeah, those fundamentals work, and I think that's a lot of times when people are trying to grow, and we kind of stumbled upon this. This wasn't like something we went and researched. It's kind of oh, okay, these largest creators are telling us, and then we looked behind the curtain and said, hold on, this works. Not only does it work, it's worked for us. So maybe we should we gotta get on that whole the YouTube. What's those creators who do the YouTube help series, like David Eves and all those.
Oh, Daryl,
You're taking over for now. Daryl Eves.
Yeah, Brian G. Johnson, Nick Nimmin, Owen Video. Who, by the way, Owen Video, apparently his tumors are shrinking, so that's very good news.
Good.
Oh,
Very good.
So, yeah, I was surprised and happy to see that. He tweeted it out. I guess they said he had less than 1% of a chance that his tumors could shrink, and they've shrank like 30-something% already.
oh, nice.
So he may be reacting to whatever they're doing well, and that's pretty awesome.
Good. That's really good to hear.
Yeah, I remember they did the fundraiser. It was nice. I love the way they came together. But it's funny because that's really what the community is about too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love hanging out with everybody. That's I do different ones.
Yeah. Oof, well, I at this point in time, I'm about to close it out because I'm about to go get something to eat, and I think I want the housekeeping to come in before it gets too late. Two things. Don't fly to Vegas too late because I got in at like my flight kept getting pushed back, and I got into Vegas about 1 a.m. And it's going back in time, but then it's like my sleep cycle is just so off where I just can't catch it up on the right cycle. So it's like I'm spending 2 days just trying to figure out, like, how to at least not wake up at 1 a.m. in the morning and be fully charged and ready to go. So,
oh, by the way, speaking of Vegas, my husband told me that he wants me to tell you, Nate, that he wants to go to Vegas with you at some point.
Oh, okay.
That's random, I know,
That's
but
awesome.
he mentioned it right before I went on. He's like, tell him. I'm like, okay.
Oh, awesome. We go like once every couple of years, so this is that time. So
Nice.
Well, listen,
yeah.
I do want to thank my guests for coming on, and thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you for all the people who love this content. I'm gonna try to give you more of it in the same exact way, and I'm gonna be trying to make improvements. But hopefully, and please subscribe to my friends here. They have amazing content, and it's always great to hear different views, especially on any content. Because if you only hear it from one side, you're never going to get the full side of the story. So with that said, my name is Nick the Lawyer for Legal Bites, Uncivil Law, and Eric from Unstructured Podcast. I will see you next time. Peace.